Happy first full day of spring TV, family. We're back at it on this Tuesday, 21st day of March 2023. Dan Kuntz, your host for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The vernal equinox came our way at 2:24 yesterday afternoon. Even though we've already gone past that 12-hour mark of daylight, we're up to 12 hours and 13 minutes of daylight. In fact, this is the time of the year where we'll see a rather dramatic increase in the amount of daylight. We're going to be gaining about 2.5 minutes of daylight for quite some period of time, and then we will continue to gain daylight until mid-June, but it'll kind of taper off a little bit as far as those really dramatic changes. But good-looking day today, good-looking day Wednesday, most of Thursday. Things are going to start changing Thursday night. We'll see some cold air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska, going to cool us down, give us maybe a little bit of rain. Mountains are going to get some snow on Thursday and Friday if you're heading into the mountain passes. It's not uncommon to have snow in the Cascades this late in the year, and it's in the forecast. Details are on the way. News, yeah, a lot of it, as you might imagine. A lot of sports, too. And it's great news for Haley Van Lith and the Louisville Cardinals. They're back into the Sweet 16, and they will be playing in Seattle. Coming up later on this week, we'll have highlights and Haley's reaction to coming home, which will be really cool. We'll have that in sports, and we'll preview everything else you need to know in the ever-widening world of sports. And speaking of sports, late last week, we had a great time. Uriah and I went to Walla Walla Point Park to talk to Danielle and her husband, Marty. Danielle and Marty are a husband-wife umpire softball duo. Great backstory with Danielle and Marty, but more importantly, Danielle, I bumped into Danielle at the KPQ Home Expo a couple of weekends ago, and she said, we are so hurting for softball officials. There's a lot of softball leagues. There's the rec leagues, and there's different tiers of rec leagues. There's high school girls softball. There's Jack and Jill. There's the seniors. There's a lot of softball teams out there, but they can't play games without umpires, and they are in desperate need of softball umpires. Looks like it's a pretty good deal. Danielle and Marty talked about that. We'll have that for you in the back half of the hour. We had a lot of fun, and you'll see that we had a lot of fun when we tape that interview. Looking forward to that. It is sunrise right now, 7:02. Let's take a look at what we have for you around the Wenatchee Valley. Obviously, the Heights camera begins our festivities. The snow is still receding, like my hairline, but there's still quite a bit of snow up in the Leavenworth area. But Jefferson, who lives in Leavenworth, said it is starting to melt away. So we say good morning to the valley outside of a few high clouds. Very pleasant. It's 39 outside of our studios. It was raining lightly yesterday at this time. Camera 2 is going to take us to Lake Wenatchee. This is cool. Look at that. Just spectacular. Good morning to Lake Wenatchee. That camera is high atop Nanapoc Ridge, so you can't see Lake Wenatchee. Trust me, it's down there. It's socked in with fog, but the sun is going to get up there and is going to burn off those clouds in the fog and have a very pleasant afternoon for our friends in the Upper Valley. Speaking of our friends elsewhere, camera number 3 will take us to downtown Wenatchee, looking directly to the north. This quick traffic reminder, they closed that Easy Street off-ramp that takes you down to East Penny Road. A lot of people take that to get to the Old Station industrial area down there by the theaters and Arby's and Cascade Auto Center. That's made for a real traffic snafu. It took us quite a while to get to Omi Gardens yesterday, so heads up on that. You can't take that little off-ramp that takes you right into the Old Station area by Cashmere Valley Bank's headquarters and those kinds of things. Where the PUD's headquarters are going in. So just be forewarned, it's going to take you a little while to get through that intersection at Easy Street and Highway 2. Pack a little patience. So let's check in with our friends up in Okanagan County. Billy Goat is looking good, and the snow continues to melt. I'm thinking Gamble Sands and Alta Lake are going to have a later start than normal to the golf season. Highlander's open, Three Lakes is open, Rock Island is open down here in the Wenatchee Valley, but we don't have snow anymore, and it is warm enough where they'll let you walk on the greens. If it gets too cold, if you walk on the greens and it's frosty, you can damage the greens, so they don't let you do it. But if you got the itch to go out and play a quick 9, you can do so, except up there, where they're still covered in snow. We're going to be in for a cold upper-level trough. It's going to come down to the Gulf of Alaska, and that means widespread precipitation in the lower valleys, but snow in the Cascades. You're going to find winter driving conditions. Could be some significant snow coming down on I-90 and on Stevens, and if you're heading to the Idaho Panhandle on Lookout Pass as well. Not too much on Blewett. Blewett usually doesn't get as much snow as I-90 or Stevens, but be forewarned, Thursday and Friday, the snow level is going to dip way down there. It's going to be below pass level. It'll be at 800 feet as a matter of fact, on Thursday night. But we're not expecting any snow here in the valley, but there will be some significant snow in the Cascades. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that, so you are forewarned. From the National Weather Service, how about partly sunny and 57 today? We'll take that. Didn't really warm up very much. It was kind of a raw day. We only got to 49 on Monday. Our normal high is 54, so still cool, and we've been for a significant period of time. We've had cooler than normal temperatures. Going to get past that today, 34 for the overnight low. I just checked not 10 minutes ago, trying to figure out the last time we got to 61 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. That's the forecast high tomorrow, and that was Halloween. Way back on October 31st, we topped off at 61, and that's the last time we saw 61. We're going to get to that mark, it looks like, on Wednesday with quite a bit of sunshine. Very pleasant indeed. Most of Thursday looks good, but that cold air is going to start seeping down that I talked about. Snow level is going to get down there a little bit, but there's not a lot of moisture. It's going to affect us. The passes are going to get snow, but we're going to be okay. With a high of only 54, that cold air is going to stick around a little bit on Friday with maybe a little bit of light rain. Friday will top off at 52 and will be below normal with sunshine, but below normal. And the overnight low is quite cold, below the freezing mark. Overnight Friday into Saturday and overnight Saturday into Sunday, it's going to be quite chilly, so it'll take a little while for us to warm up, but we will get there. All in all, pretty typical March weather. I like all those sunshine icons, though. I can live with that. 6 minutes after the hour, going to take a break, then we'll give you your Tuesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
All paws on deck with Ryder and the crew as they set sail in an all-new live stage show. Paw Patrol Live, The Great Pirate Adventure. X marks the spot in this exciting, action-packed live show full of singing, dancing, and patrolling the high seas. For more information on how to join the heroic pups, you can go to pawpatrollive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center this Tuesday and Wednesday only. For tickets, visit pawpatrollive.com.
It's the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 16th through the 26th, with tons of vendors, a scavenger hunt for the kids, and enter to win a new RV. Top manufacturers are coming from across the country, like Winnebago, Holiday Rambler, Forest River, Thor, Flagstaff, Grand Design RV, and more. Check out the enormous selection of both new and used RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, with huge incentives and lifetime warranty. The financing options are amazing. So come on down to the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 16th through the 26th.
I chose a career at Confluence Health because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence Health. Come grow with us.
In 1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed, my brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
9 minutes after the hour, 37 degrees, fairly clear sky. It's going to be a nice day today, nice day tomorrow, nicest day of the year so far. Into the lower 60s, we'll stick with the sunshine, but we're going to cool down quite a bit by the time we get to the weekend. We'll start with this story. A man found dead last week near Plain is now the subject of a homicide investigation. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says the man's identity is unknown, but he was found Friday evening in the 16,000 block of Camp 12 Road. That's about a half a mile south of the town of Plain. Sheriff's detectives say the deceased person is a black male, about 5 foot 11 inches tall, between the ages of 25 and 40. The Washington State Patrol Crime Lab is participating in the investigation. Detectives say they will not release any more information while the case is ongoing, but if you do have a tip related to the case, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office. After some legal wrangling in Douglas County Court, an East Wenatchee investment broker was sentenced yesterday to 8 years in prison for defrauding his clients. 55-year-old Gregory D. Lone is going to serve 96 months after pleading guilty to 5 counts of first-degree theft. Lone's attorney and Douglas County prosecutors agreed to recommend that he serve just 3 years for stealing an estimated $500,000 from 5 different Wenatchee Valley clients, most of them elderly. But Judge Brian Huber assigned an exceptional sentence of 96 months after the victims testified to losing most of their life savings in a Ponzi scheme that Lone orchestrated. Lone has been in the Chelan County Jail since February. That's when he entered his plea. Another hearing later this month will determine how much restitution he must pay his victims. The Chelan Douglas Community Action Council is going to purchase property on North Wenatchee Avenue so they can build a brand new food distribution center. The property on North Wenatchee Avenue is currently owned by C&O Nursery. The completed distribution center will cost an estimated $6 million for purchasing and construction. It'll serve as a home base for the council's frequent food drives. They assist those who are experiencing hunger, of course. The nonprofit agency says it's having a hard time meeting demand and being able to also safely store food in its current location. This is a big boulder. This happens in the springtime around our area. Residents on Western Antioch River Road found themselves down to one lane between mileposts 24 and 25 after that. A big rock slid off the slope and landed on the roadway. Now, the uphill lane remains open, but crews have begun working to break that boulder up and get it off the road. And as you might imagine, it also damaged the road, so they're going to have to patch that road due to damage from the rockfall. But it is still open. But Chelan County Public Works is asking people, if you don't need to drive on the road, don't do it so they can get the job done. The Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission has 9 members. Their job is to set policy for the State Department of Fish and Wildlife. And the commission holds public meetings all over the state. Last week, they gathered right here in Wenatchee, which is convenient because they have 2 board members who live right here in our area, and they are Commissioner John Lemcole of Wenatchee and Vice Chair Molly Linville of Palisades. Our very own Jefferson Robbins sat down with those 2 local commission members to talk about how climate change is complicating their mission.
Probably one of our biggest challenges is fish, anadromous fish, salmon and steelhead. And I'm not a real expert in those, so this is a steep learning curve for me on this last year. But you know, that issue touches everywhere in the state, from the mouth of the Columbia all the way to the headwaters of the Columbia and our local streams here. So that is, to me, is one of the toughest issues. We not only have people wanting to catch the salmon and utilize them, but we also have habitat restoration issues, and that's one of the big things. And you know, of course, we have the dam issues and those and that. So I think fish is going to be a big thing. We have, you know, other terrestrial wildlife issues that, you know, there's always individual species that we're dealing with and threatened and endangered species. I think in terms of management issues, we have, of course, we have lots of issues related around hunting and issues and that have come before the commission that have been sort of hot issues, but a lot of them aren't hot issues. So, I mean, there's a lot to talk about in that, and I think that's one of our conflict zones in terms of the commission and the public and how they deal with wildlife.
Molly, particular challenges that you assess?
So mine's hasn't risen to the table yet, and it's a kind of a slop over from my life in agriculture. But for me, the most imperiled resource that we have is our soils. The biology in the soil is complex, and it has direct correlation to climate change reversal through the photosynthetic process and sequestering carbon from the atmosphere. But it's hard to get people excited about soils. And if you aren't in agriculture, it's hard to know what to do for soils to improve them. But I'm hopeful that this is going to make it, because, you know, a few years ago, nobody was interested in pollinators either. And people have come to see the importance of pollinators. And so I think soil is going to make a big splash before long. And I think we really can get to talking about reversal of climate change if we can get people excited about soils. But that's a little bit different wildlife species than most people are used to talking about. But I think without soil, that even impacts salmon. So that's my focus. And the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival surprised
Bob Mast last Friday. He is the president of CMI Orchards. He's going to be the 2023 Apple Citizen of the Year. Apple Blossom Royalty joined Festival Administrator Darcy Christopherson at a CMI Orchard staff party on St. Patrick's Day to present him with the award. Mast has served as Vice President of Marketing and as President during his 2 decades at CMI. He's also served on the Board of Directors for the Washington Apple Commission for 8 years. He's also the former president of the Washington Apple Education Foundation Board of Directors. Mast will be honored at the All-Service Club Community Luncheon on May 3rd, and he will ride in the Stimmelt Growers Grand Parade on Saturday, May 6th, which we will be televising as we have been for any number of years. And that is what's making news. At 16 minutes after the hour, Grant and Jefferson and Jordan and Malcolm and Eric, I think, will be getting the news together for you so you can find out what's going on around our area. We'll have the news on television at 5, 6, and 10. Also available on our Facebook page, our website, and on our YouTube page. With the preview, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, partly cloudy and drier by this afternoon with unseasonably warm temperatures expected tomorrow with highs near 60. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Dan will take a look at what's happening in area high school spring sports, as well as an update on the Wild, Kraken, and Mariners. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
It's amazing how we can do that with his mouth. Get a hold of us if you want to get a hold of us. You're more than welcome to. If you don't, that's fine too. Our Facebook page, our email address, our homepage, and our telephone number right down there at the bottom of your screen. When we come back, Haley Van Lith is coming home. Well, pretty close to home anyway. Louisville, the Lady Cardinals are on their way to the Sweet 16 and on their way to the Emerald City. We'll have that when we come back with sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting.
I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Hi, Wenatchee Valley. It's Ben and Eddie the Yeti. Whoop, whoop, whoop. With Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration. Now's the time to get your fireplaces clean and serviced.
Don't forget the heat pumps and furnaces.
We just added a service electrician to our team.
Can we do panel change-outs now?
Yes, and other electrical work. We are a factory authorized Bryant dealer, whatever it takes.
Whether you're hot or cold, our service is gold.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration, 509-668-8108.
Back out of the 19 minutes after the hour for the 6th straight season and for the 3rd straight season in Haley Van Lith's collegiate career, the Louisville Cardinals heading to the Sweet 16. Louisville beats Texas on their home court, as a matter of fact. In the NCAA Women's College Basketball Tournament, they won 73-51. And for the 2nd straight game, Haley Van Lith led Louisville offensively, 21 points.
Your nerves are really, really sensitive. You're on edge right from the opening tip. Van Lith settles things down with a three. To a couple of hoops here. Van Lith for three.
I love it. Van Lith always ready to define. They got to slow down and get in their rhythm. Hopefully with Harmon making those baskets, other players will step up. But Haley Van Lith with another bucket.
taken away by Carr. That's 6 turnovers. Carr, Van Lith. The great fake, the drive for 2 for the Cards. Van Lith turning and scoring. Haley Van Lith into double figures with 10.
To be ready to get on the offensive board. That's what Louisville's been doing. You got to box out if you're Texas.
Van Lith jumps in another 2. Takes Holly off the dribble and drops in 2 more. Closing it out 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Van Lith, you know Harmon won't stop defending, and Van Lith won't stop finding ways to score. Van Lith on the drive, 2 more. Haley Van Lith with 21. The final seconds tick away. Louisville, sweet again. Their 6th straight trip to the Sweet 16.
Over 21 points, 11 came in the second half. Afterwards, Haley says, it's not about my individual performance, it's about the team.
Actually, I didn't feel like I had pressure that game. My teammates played very well. I didn't really have to do much. I just scored in my spots when I didn't have to force or nothing. My teammates were taking care of business. So I was just playing free. My teammates were hitting shots so they couldn't double me in the gap. They couldn't really double me off screen, so I was just able to play in the open court, and it was really fun. So I would say my teammates played so well that I had no pressure on me.
Haley said going into the game, playing Texas on their campus in Austin would be tough, but she said the Louisville defense is tougher.
I think a lot of people have questioned our toughness this year. Last year, we were an extremely tough team. Like, we were known, that was our thing. We were tough. We were going to guard. This year, we've let big leads get away from us. We've let defenses punk us a little bit. So that's been a question of whether we were tough, and, you know, we kind of got tired of hearing it. So we wanted to go out and prove that we're the same Louisville tough that this program has been for a long time now. So that I would say that's where it comes from.
And the Cardinals are heading to Seattle for the Sweet 16, and Haley says it's going to be fun to see her friends and family again.
It means a lot, you know. I haven't been to see my family in a while. You know, a lot of my grandparents have suffered from some illnesses lately, so they haven't been able to travel and watch me play. So just getting to play in front of those people in my hometown is going to be really special for me, and it's really important for my parents too, getting to bring me back home. So it was the perfect situation, and we executed beautifully, and we got there. So like I've been saying this whole tournament, we just need an opportunity, and we got one for next game. So we're going to take advantage of it.
Louisville will take on Ole Miss Thursday at 7 p.m. at Climate Pledge Arena. You can watch that game on ESPN. Seattle Kraken back in action tonight. They are flying into the American Airlines Arena. They'll take on the Dallas Stars. They'll drop the puck at 6 o'clock again on ESPN. The Wenatchee Wild were prepared to hand out their awards. Their annual banquet was last night, but before they could do so, Ian Samoza got an award. He was selected as the BCHL's first Star of the Week. Samoza scoring 3 goals and had 4 assists and helping the Wild beat Merritt 7-4 and Cranbrook in that shootout Saturday 5-4. At last night's banquet, Samoza also received the Wild's Most Valuable Player award for the season. He shared honors as top forward alongside Cade Littler. David Hedjuk was selected as the top defensive player of the year. Micah Berger, the rookie of the year. Alexis Gorgalakis was the most improved. And goalie Olin Millward was voted as the fan favorite. Of course, Wenatchee is home for the final 2 games of the regular season, Friday and Saturday. Trail is in town. They'll drop the puck at 7:05 Friday, Saturday, 6:05 at the Town Toyota Center. Mariners got some timely hitting and great pitching. They beat Milwaukee yesterday, 7-2 in Cactus League play. Cooper Hummel and Ty France came through at the plate, and Logan Gilbert came through on the mound.
Here comes another 1-2 pitch. Swinging, it's a high fly towards right center field. This is drifting back, and this ball gets over the wall for a home run. Cooper Hummel leads the yard, and it's a 1-0 Mariners lead. Woodruff pauses, now pitches. Swinging, it's a ground ball. It's a fair ball inside the bag at third base. Moran hits third. He's on his way home. Here comes Caballero. He's getting waved home as well. Ty France in his second. Caballero scores. Ty stands up with a 2-run stand-up double. The Mariners extend the lead. It's now 3-0 Mariners in the third inning.
Single month earned run average by any pitcher in Mariners history. Next offer. Strike 3 call. Logan strikes out Luke Boyd looking. Here's the windup and the 1-2 to Toro, and it's strike 3 called on the inside corner. Another strikeout for Gilbert.
Gilbert's payoff. Swing and a miss. Boy, that might have been one right there. That was beauty. He pulled the string.
No defensive shifts. Tosses over to first base. Here's the 2-2 again. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with a breaking ball down and away. There's no lollygagging. Here's the pitch of the way. Swing and a miss by Naquin for strike 3. And there's that splitter.
Manager Scott Service says he's still impressed by his pitching staff and was very happy to see Cooper Hummel come through against his old team.
It's a really good pitching day today. Logan was outstanding, and the guys out of the bullpen. First time we've seen Munoz in an A game here, and as sharp as we've seen him at any point. And Matt Brash threw the ball well also. So a lot of good things on the pitching side. Cooper Hummel, big day today with the bat. He's had a couple big days against the Brewers, one of his old teams. But yeah, good way to go into the off day. Took Kelnick out of the game. Just had a little tightness in his quad or up by his hip or something. The training staff just said, probably best to get him out, so we did that. But it was Tom Murphy, just a little bit of forearm tightness in his left forearm, so that's why he was a late scratch today also.
Mariners have the day off today. They'll play the Dodgers. In fact, they host the Dodgers tomorrow night at 6:40. All right, to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard we go. One baseball score to pass along to you. Omac scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and they beat Bridgeport 17-0. Lots on the Diamonds today. Orville will host Curlew in a doubleheader. They'll be going at 3 o'clock. Eastmont will host Eisenhower at 4. Sunnyside will visit Moses Lake. Ephrata travels to Shadle Park. Okanagan will head for Lake Roosevelt. They'll have that first pitch at 4:30. Brewster will host Tonasket. Wenatchee will take on East Valley of Yakima at Historic Recreation Park tonight at 6 o'clock. On the fast pitch softball schedule today, it's Republic visiting Orville at 3. Wenatchee will host Ephrata. This game will be at Wenatchee Valley College, by the way, at 4 o'clock. Manson is at Bridgeport at 4:30. Lake Roosevelt will host Okanagan, and Tonasket travels to Brewster. One prep soccer score to pass along to you, again from our friends at Les Schwab. Actually 2. Cascade topped Connell and Manson tripped Tonasket. As far as the soccer schedule today, at 4 o'clock, it's Tonasket at Bridgeport. Orville hosts Pateros. That'll get going at 4:30. At 6, you got Chelan Quincy. Cashman hosting Omac. Brewster's at Okanagan. Eastmont hosts Wenatchee at 7, and Moses Lake visits Eisenhower. Speaking of that, the Panthers and the Wildcats will do battle tonight. We will be there with our cameras and with Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen. Pre-game at 6:50. It'll be streaming on our website, our Facebook page, and on TV. And if you'll allow me to indulge in a little shop talk, Eric texted me Sunday night, said, hey, I have a great chance to head on up to fish Rufus Woods Lake with my good buddy, our good buddy, Dave Graybill, the fishing magician. Can you come in for a couple of days? I want to take Monday and Tuesday off to go fishing. I said, no problem at all. And he sent me that. He says it's the biggest trout he ever caught. Eric, by the way, is the one in the back. The fish is in the front. Eric said it's like 20-pound trout. Congratulations to Eric Grenstrom. Sometimes just taking the day off to go fishing pays off. There you go. Well done, Eric. Wonder what he used. And those are just some of the games that people are playing and fish are catching. At 29 minutes after the hour, I had 6 obscure holidays I could have chosen. World Poetry Day, National Countdown Day, I don't know what the hell that means. National Fragrance Day, National French Bread Day, I love that. National Common Courtesy Day, which should be every day, quite frankly. But today we recognize the parents who are doing it all by themselves. Single Parents Day. Today, there are a lot of hardworking moms and dads out there who are doing it alone. Don't have a partner to help raise the kids. In fact, about 25% of all the children in this country are being raised in a single-parent household. And a third of all single-parent households live in poverty, probably because they just have the one income. That's sobering. Single-parent households headed by women, 12%, headed by men, 2.3%. So most of them are women. The average age of a single parent, approximately 39 years old. It's harder, most experts agree, it's harder for a single parent to discipline their kids when they don't have mom and dad playing good cop, bad cop or whatever. I can understand that. Children are 50% more likely to suffer from health problems during the divorce of their parents. Hang in there, single parents. This is your day. Today, it's the bottom of the hour. This is the 60th anniversary of the closing of Alcatraz. The Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary in San Francisco Bay closed its doors permanently on this date in 1963. It was falling apart. The sea air was rotting it from the inside. There was breakouts. Finally, the Attorney General of the United States, Robert Kennedy, said this is way too expensive to maintain. It cost them $10 a prisoner per day. All the other prisons cost about $3 a prisoner per day, so he said, finally, that's it. And Alcatraz closed its doors on this date 60 years ago today. Here is newsreel footage.
It's hail and farewell to Alcatraz. The dread rock in San Francisco Bay plays host to the press on its closing day. For the first time in its long penal history, reporters and cameramen are allowed to roam its innermost cell blocks and cells at will. Wearing handcuffs and leg irons, the last 27 of its 1,500 prisoners leave the crumbling, unsalvageable fortress for more modern federal penitentiaries. Under heavy guard, they will be flown to maximum security quarters in Atlanta, Leavenworth, and eventually the new Marion prison in southern Illinois. Maintenance guards will be the only inhabitants of the island until its final disposition is decided by Congress and the state of California. Families of the guards and prison workers who are being transferred to other assignments are probably the only ones who say goodbye to Alcatraz with any regret.
For most of Alcatraz's years as a federal penitentiary, the rock was considered without question, the hardest time you could do. The prisoners were given just the 4 basics, and that was it. Food, shelter, clothing, and medical care, and that was it. They had absolutely no perks at all. They had one interesting perk. They could take hot showers. The other federal prisons, they were allowed cold showers only, but they could take hot showers. At Alcatraz, the idea was they wouldn't become acclimated to the cold water in San Francisco Bay, so they wouldn't think about jumping in and swimming for it. And of course, the guards lived there as well, as did the warden. Alcatraz is still there. You can take a tour, take a ferry. It gets 1.5 million visitors a year. It's pretty sobering. Why anybody would want to tour Alcatraz is beyond me. They closed its doors on this date in 1963, 60 years ago today. And 43 years ago today, President Carter makes it official. It's been out there for a while, ever since the Soviets invaded Afghanistan the previous winter, a few months earlier. The words were flowing out that, hey, we're not going to go to Moscow for the 1980 Summer Olympics, and Jimmy Carter made it official on this date in 1980. We ain't going. We boycott the Olympics in Moscow, and a lot of Western nations followed suit. We should have gone. 33 minutes after the hour, my 3 favorite composers celebrate a birthday today, Johann and Sebastian and Bach. And they're all the same guy. Recently voted by 173 living classical composers as perhaps the greatest composer of all time, because he wrote for all kinds of different instruments and all kinds of different styles. He wasn't like Mozart, who just almost strictly wrote for different things, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Bach, he's good. The Brandenburg Concertos, listen to them. You'll be glad you did. And the Mass in B minor, those are my 2 favorite pieces. Johann Sebastian Bach, born on this date in 1685, and happy birthday to Matthew Broderick. I first got to know him in War Games. What a great movie with Ali Shee. Great movie. War Games, of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the voice of Simba in The Lion King. Matthew Broderick, still working at 61. Happy birthday to him. 34 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Mike McNally's opinions is about the new Jesus. I did not know there was a new Jesus. You'll be informed by Michael on that. And then we had a great conversation, had a lot of fun with Danielle and Marty. We went out to Walla Walla Point Park. Danielle and Marty are both members of the Wenatchee Valley Umpires Association. They need slow pitch softball umpires. They need them bad. It's a acute situation. Help them out. Danielle and Marty will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Get even more cash back to boost your insulation, keeping your home comfy year-round. Now until March 31st.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, we all have some idea of who Jesus is, right? But have you heard about the new Jesus, the one that some Christians are talking about, who I call the magic trick Jesus? Now, this is the Jesus who, even though you might catch a cold, the flu, or God forbid, sometimes have cancer in your life, the magic trick Jesus is the one who will keep you from getting COVID. Now, if you believe in the magic trick Jesus, you don't have to wear a mask or get vaccinated, because by doing so, you're demonstrating a lack of faith. By wearing a mask or getting vaccinated, or not doing these things, you're showing what a strong believer you are in the magic trick Jesus. Now, by the way, this magic trick Jesus is not the one that the Bible talks about. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
All paws on deck with Ryder and the crew as they set sail in an all-new live stage show. Paw Patrol Live, The Great Pirate Adventure. X marks the spot in this exciting, action-packed live show full of singing, dancing, and patrolling the high seas. For more information on how to join the heroic pups, you can go to PawPatrolLive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center this Tuesday and Wednesday only. For tickets, visit PawPatrolLive.com.
At Prestige Senior Living, we celebrate life at every age. From our cognitive and fall reduction programs to our focus on life enrichment and wellness, we help our residents maintain independence while nurturing mind, body, and spirit. Residents also enjoy a wide variety of amenities and services, including restaurant-quality dining, housekeeping, a full calendar of events, and so much more. To learn more or to schedule a tour, visit us at prestigecare.com or call the number on your screen. We can't wait to show you around.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
It's the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 16th through the 26th, with tons of vendors, a scavenger hunt for the kids, and enter to win a new RV. Top manufacturers are coming from across the country, like Winnebago, Holiday Rambler, Forest River, Thor, Flagstaff, Grand Design RV, and more. Check out the enormous selection of both new and used RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, with huge incentives and lifetime warranty. The financing options are amazing. So come on down to the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 16th through the 26th.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
There was a time in my youth, in the early 90s, Danielle, I was considered one of the finest slow-pitch softball players in north central Washington.
Wow.
It's true.
I don't doubt that a bit, but that was in the 90s.
Yeah. You know how I made the team? I
Good
sponsored
looks?
the team.
Oh, good.
Yeah. When you write the check, guess what? You're on the
You're
roster.
on the team, yes.
Danielle, Marty, introduce yourselves to our television family, please.
Hello, I'm Danielle Willette. This is my husband.
Marty Andrus.
We're here to talk about umpiring, but before we get into that and the bad need for umpiring in softball and all the other sports, it's an acute problem. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. The story between you two is it's romantic, it's cute, it should be a Lifetime movie of the week, Danielle. Talk about how you and Marty hooked up. Oh, it's a great love story. Give us a little rundown how that happened.
Well, Marty used to play on a men's team when he still worked for Boeing, and he lived in Renton. He was over here for a weekend. We were right there on Walla Walla 3, and I was his official for about 6 games.
Yeah.
It was very hot, 3 digits,
degrees.
triple digits.
Mm-hmm.
I shared water with him. I made sure he had gum to keep his mouth moist, and I shared my hot towel with him. And bless his heart, he thought that he was the only one I ever did that for.
Exactly.
But the truth is, I always do it for my catchers. I want them to catch the ball. It's important. So after the games are over, one of his guys said he should call me and ask me out to supper.
And what I did was I called one of the officials that invited
Dan
us
Johnson.
to the game and asked if he would give my phone number to Danielle, and if she wanted to call me, she could.
So you called him.
I did.
You went out.
We did.
Sparks flying.
Yeah.
Shooting arrows through the heart. Walk me through
He's
that.
a lovely man. He was such a good ball player, and he was so nice to everybody, both teams. And he was nice to the officials, and we don't always get that. And he was very handsome. That's not bad, you know.
He is an attractive guy.
And right after we started dating, he bought a Harley, because I ride a Harley, and come on. That's sexy. That's drop dead sexy.
And you've been together ever since.
Yep.
And you make a good team, don't you?
Yes, sir. We do.
Yeah, it's all about teamwork. Speaking of teamwork, let's bring your 4-legged friend in here real quick before we get busy.
Luna,
come here.
Come on.
This is Luna Tuna. She's a very important part of our ball field experience.
Hi, Luna Tuna. How you doing? What a great dog. What a great dog.
She played with my grandchildren and the other kids at the ballpark yesterday and caught and ate a rabbit this morning. She's a multifaceted dog, just like us.
You still have a job. You're retired from Boeing, so you have a little more free time. And if you have any kind of free time, we have a thriving athletic community here. Everything is going great guns, except we have one significant shortage, Danielle, and that is
umpires. We need umpires. We need umpires across the board here in Wenatchee Valley. I'm with the Wenatchee Valley Umpire Association, and we're putting out a plea for y'all. If you have some spare time, you like to be outside, you like the game of ball, you want to earn a few dollars, we'll get you trained. We'll make sure that we take care of everything you need to stand behind home plate. It's the best seat in the house, and we'll pay you to do it. What do you think, Marty?
I think it's a great idea. We need them badly.
And the most thing of all, and I've seen you umpire because we've done games and stuff like that, it looks like you're having a good time.
It's a fun thing.
It
I
is a
like
fun
it.
thing.
It's nice being a part of the community in a way that you can tell people where to go. Like, you can leave the ball field now. I like that.
Is that how you do ejections? You're free to leave now. Because that's the way to do it.
Well, yeah. I will enjoy this game a whole lot more if you're in the parking lot.
Now, we're talking high school girls softball, and every high school team in North Central Washington has at least 2 teams. Many have 3. And then you have when you get in the summertime, you have your rec leagues and your church leagues and your Jack and Jills. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of games. So the job is there. The gigs are there. But the shortage is that bad. Are we getting to the point where, sorry, rec league, I ain't got no more bodies. You're going to have to do it yourself? Or how bad is this problem, Danielle?
It's almost just like you said. We're almost having to turn them down. Can't do it.
So what's going on, Marty? What are they just the officials just don't want to do it anymore? Or?
Partly it's old age. They're retiring, and it's not easy. It's a little bit of work. You have to keep in shape. You have to run down to the bases, make the calls.
And know the rules.
You have to know the rules. And also you have to put away elephant ears because a lot of people have opinions. Opinions are valid. They just not necessarily have anything to do with the game. And we have to keep our focus on the game.
So for those who, and I hope we planted a seed, and if we didn't, we still had a good time anyway here at the park. What do people need to know? They need to. I'm interested, Danielle. I know nothing of softball. Talk me through that.
We have a rules book. It's a very good book. It's good to know. We'll take you through all the basics. We'll make sure you get out on the ball field, and we have players so you can know where to stand to get the best angle, because truly it's angle over distance every time. We'll make sure you understand your mechanics. We got outs and we got safe calls, and if you don't know those, then you look a little silly. We don't want you looking silly. Well, Dan, what can I say? He's a Kuntz, you know.
You know that.
But we will make sure that you have everything you need to be an effective and appropriate official. And those things are what keep us here, is that if you know your job, there's very few complaints because you know your job, and that's obvious. And when people get upset, remember, they're upset about the call. They're not upset about you personally. And that's a powerful thing to remember as an official.
Yep.
You second that, Marty?
I second that totally. Being in the right position is very important. If you're not in the right position, you can't make the call sometimes. So,
and nothing's worse than saying, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
that's we don't like that.
Yeah.
It's always a 2-person crew, right?
No,
for the most
not
part.
slow pitch.
Not slow pitch. You got
one behind home plate.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Nobody out in the field.
No.
That's a challenge.
Not really. Not when you know your game.
That's true.
And know where to go.
And you know where to go.
You probably stay in shape pretty good too. I'm assuming, right? Because look at you, you're a gorgeous.
Thank you.
Way to go,
much.
Marty. I would be remiss if I didn't say, Muddy. What am I getting here? You're not going to immediately start calling Wenatchee Eastmont softball games. Trust me on that. But people are going to want to know what the compensation is for doing softball.
Well, we're in contract negotiations right now, but at this point you'll get $27 a game. You'll do 2, maybe 3 games a night. You could only work 1 night a week if that's all you have to spare and you're interested, but you can work as much as 4. We also have softball tournaments on the weekend, which are a lot of fun. We take care of you upstairs in the crow's nest. We take care of you on the ball field, and we pay you with a nice fat check at the end of the weekend. So it's a really good source of part-time monies, and it shouldn't interfere with your daytime job.
And if you get good at it, you can work your way up the ladder and work at some bigger and more important games for bigger and more important money.
Well, you can always do traveling.
Right.
We have tournaments that come in that are fast pitch and or slow pitch, and you can always travel down to Florida for the World. They have games in Arizona, and they have games in Texas, in El Paso. I am sorry about that, but it's still good ball games.
Well, let me ask you this. This is very important, and the folks at the Sports Tourism Council and the Chamber will tell you this. When we have these big softball tournaments in the summertime, and all these teams, like your team, when you met and you came in to play softball for a weekend, no umpires, no tournament. Yeah. And the last thing you want to do is say, I'm sorry, we can't have the 104 teams come to the Wenatchee Valley and play here at Walla Walla Point Park and Kirby Billingsley Park and all over the place and put heads in beds and eat at Red Robin if you don't have umpires. It's
Amen.
that critical, isn't it?
It is that critical. It's a very important part of our economic system here in Wenatchee Valley. We need officials to support the rest of us that supports all of us.
Now, we're talking specifically softball, but I know, talking to Cody, the assignment for the basketball officials in the wintertime and Jerry in the fall for football officials, this is a problem that's across the board all over North Central Washington with all sports. Is that not true?
That is very true. And again, we need to be out there so that our young people are growing up doing sports. Because as a school teacher, you're in sports, you're going to be a better student, you're going to be a better kid, you're going to be a better adult.
I did sports when I was a kid, and look how great I turned out.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do people do? They get a hold of you? Is there websites? Let's get some people involved and let them know about the homework they can do to help expedite this process.
We have a Gmail account. It's wenatcheeumps@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. We'll get in touch. We're still working on a website because we're not website masters. You could probably get in touch with us through the Wenatchee Valley Softball website because Mike Van Lith, and he'll always let us know if we need new umps. And then you get in touch with that. I'll be in touch with you, and we'll go from there.
If you show even the slightest inkling, or maybe you just come out and watch. That might be an idea. To come out and just sit in the stands and instead of watching the kids play, watch the umpires. And if you go, if Danielle can do it, I can do that.
Hey,
or better yet, if Marty can do it, I can really do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I appreciate you taking some time out and having some fun today with us.
We appreciate your time. We do thank you. Senior softball, in case you want to play and you're old, come on out and join us. I stink as a softball player. I'm a much better official. You're good at both, though, Lovey, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm good.
When these two aren't at the ball field, they're on their Harley Davidsons, probably causing trouble. That probably offsets all the stress that you get from umpiring, right?
Yes.
Marty, let's get on the bike and get out of here for a little while.
Okay, let's go.
There you go.
We'll see you on the ball field. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. And you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
In 1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed, my brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
When I was about 16, I got in a relationship. He hit me for the first time in front of his daughter. He physically abused me in front of my children. I couldn't do it no more. Sage was there for me when I needed them. I didn't hear a lecture from them. I didn't hear anything but just acceptance. And that's what I needed at the time. And they help you with everything that you need to move on in life and heal.
Up now, pitcher got nothing now. Up now. What do you say?
Stop!
Yeah, good pitch.
What? 3 feet from point of release. Strike one. Here we go. Alrighty.
Wait till I'm ready here. Hold tight. I got to get in position here.
Play ball. Strike!
What?
There you go.
Long drive right field. It is goodbye. A big, big World Series for Reggie Jackson, despite all the palaver about his discontent with Billy Martin as he comes up with his third home run of the series. Quickly, the Yankees go ahead. Hard shot, right field, it's gone. Oh, what a World Series for Reggie Jackson. First hit, right in his wheelhouse.
Thank you.
People would say. Reggie Jackson now well on his way to becoming the most valuable player in the 1977 World Series.
Okay, try
Strike! Maybe you should think about being an umpire instead of a player. Wenatchee Valley, we need umpires.
Marty, was that a strike?
That was a strike.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue. Bring beauty to your life and create your own vision at Chelan's premier lifestyle store. Willow features unique clothing, jewelry, and home decor. Only in Chelan.
Lake Chelan Sports is the place to find top brands like Hoka, Ons, Patagonia, and now a full line of Viore products. With excellent customer service, Lake Chelan Sports has what you need.
Culinary Apple is North Central Washington's premier kitchen store with everything you need to elevate your own culinary experience.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him.
So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise.
I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family.
Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
Back at it here on this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks to Danielle and Marty for indulging in my baseball fantasies. I'm 58 years old and I can't play the sport anymore. You just have to accept these things. We have a couple of quick minutes. We thought we'd take one more tour around the valley. Going to mix the cameras up a little bit. As a matter of fact, you can see behind me, that's the McNeil Canyon camera, high atop one of our super tall towers, like a 300-foot tower, and we have a camera on top of that. So let's take a look at that as we look out over the Lake Chelan area from McNeil Canyon. You can see a little bit of the lake, and they haven't quite started filling up the bathtub yet. Takes a little while. Good morning to our friends to the north of us. Speaking to the north of us, well, actually, I guess Cougar Ridge qualifies a little bit, I guess. That's a beautiful view of the Wenatchee Valley, with Wenatchee getting quite a bit of attention. You can see the snow line continues to melt, will continue to melt, with highs in the 50s today and lower 60s tomorrow. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley and the mighty Columbia. To Monitor we go. The Monitor camera, anyway, looking to the upper valley, you can see Stein Hill. You can see Mount Cashmere way off in the distance, and the Icicle and the Enchantments. Beautiful view there from our Monitor camera pointing directly to Cashmere. And finally, let's do one more camera and let's check out Omi Gardens. We had a great time yesterday. Went out and talked to Bonnie and Barbara at Omi Gardens on the first day of spring. That interview, by the way, that conversation with Bonnie and Barbara will air on tomorrow's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. They're getting Omi Gardens all spruced up for spring. It's right around the corner. Can't wait for that. I love, absolutely one of the crown jewels of our area is Omi Gardens, and that camera is adjacent to that area. Just a quick little heads up, if you're heading into the Cascades on Thursday and Friday, snow level is going to go way down Thursday night, and it's going to stay way down through Friday. Snow level is going to be about 800 feet overnight Thursday night into Friday, with some precipitation in the forecast. Now we're going to miss the snow and the rain, probably, for that matter, but not so much of the mountain passes. They get a pretty good dose of snow on Snoqualmie, Stevens, and Lookout Pass for you folks driving to the east. Just wanted to let you know, could get a little dicey Thursday and Friday before they calm down over the weekend. We are in for 2 very nice days from the National Weather Service. There you go. 57 today. Still have a few clouds hanging around from yesterday's system. They'll continue to thin out as the day progresses. 34 for the overnight low tonight. Looking really good Wednesday. Last time we topped off at 61 degrees for an afternoon high was back on Halloween. Been a long time since we saw 60. And we're going to be 61, they tell us, tomorrow. And then a cold upper level trough is going to start seeping down from the Gulf of Alaska. It's going to cool us down quite a bit, especially those overnight lows, but still bountiful sunshine with just a slight chance of precipitation. That's it. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.